All right. So my parents have been divorced for 12 years. How that came about was my dad walked into the kitchen. I was in the living room. They were adjacent to each other. He took off his wedding ring, looked at my mom directly in the eye, and said, "I don't want to be married to you anymore," and threw it on the floor. Um, so stuff like that, this is right in front of me, so stuff like that is very traumatic. Today I'll be talking about childhood trauma and the effects on the brain. There are probably, to me, that jump out three major childhood trauma events that happen. That would be bullying, divorce, and abuse. So first up, bullying. To begin, whether you were the bullier or the bullied, your actions have consequences. According to Carrie Nierenberg's 2015 article for Live Science, children who are bullied have a higher chance of experiencing mental issues, examples like anxiety and depression, that require psychiatric help. A study was done in Finland where 5,000 kids plus that were 8 years old, their parents, and their teachers took a survey, and 31% of those kids reported bullying, needed help psychiatric with depression and anxiety. Next up, I will be talking about divorce. In Lisa Stroshine's November 2005 article, Parental Divorce and Child Mental Health Trajectories, divorce leads to high stress. Your sympathetic nervous system requires your fight or flight attention. That is when your stress hormones are high and you really aren't in a relaxed state, such as your parasympathetic would be. So this would most likely to cause antisocial behaviors, and according to Amy Morin's February 2021 article, Psychological Effects of Divorce on Children, children tend to act out and blame themselves, which then they will spiral into a deeper depression. And finally, abuse. That's very traumatic for a child, and according to sexual abuse as a child, there is a part of your brain that's called the hypothalamus, which is this area right here, which controls arousal. And as a child will grow up, they can't get aroused, so that causes that part of the brain to shrink. And according to Damon Edwards' 2018 article, Childhood Sexual Abuse and Brain Development, a discussion of associated structural changes and negative psychological outcomes, also abused children tend to process emotions at a slower rate, so their amygdala, which is this part of the brain, also doesn't act correctly, and when they go to process their emotions, it doesn't necessarily work. Also, there could be an issue in your corpus callosum, which is part of the brain that lets the two halves of your brain talk to each other, and they connect. So there could be some shrinkage there, and it's really not very good because that stunts brain growth. Today I talked about childhood trauma, the effects on the brain due to being bullied, parents getting divorced, and child abuse. By learning what goes on in our bodies mentally, not just physically, it's important. By assessing past trauma, you can find a treatment that helps you.